Welcome back. Love Boat Project, episode number 37. With me, as always, my co-host, Mike Robertson. Ahoy, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Did you ever think when we started doing this 37 episodes ago that you would have the ability, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, that you would have the ability to have this Love Boat show that, as far as I knew, was a song and like a lighthearted romp, that it could ever make you just mad? Because the existence of this episode, for many reasons, just kind of made me mad.
Yeah, I don't disagree. There was more than one reason to be mad. It wasn't just story. It was, and we'll get into it. Yeah, I was bugged by it.
Yeah, as a viewer of this, as the only episode you ever saw, what kind of made me mad. As someone who maybe was into the whole show, it would make me mad. As someone who's doing this, what we're doing, made me furious.
Yeah, yeah. There were some things that, I have some notes. I have some things to share as we see some of these insults personally. Like,
yes. Yeah.
So,
and the thing that bothers me the most is we got validation about being correct on things we've been talking about for a while, and that didn't make me feel any better.
No, I felt worse with those. It's almost like just don't. Like I'm pretty sure there's not a Santa Claus, but until you say there's not a Santa Claus, it's not that big of a deal. Right. Yeah,
that's what this
same
was
thing.
Today.
This was the episode that almost ruined Christmas.
Which works because it's in December.
It is. Original air date, December 9th, 1978. Of course, we're here to talk about the Love Boat Season 2, Episode 12, titled El Kid, The Last $100, and a Isosceles Triangle.
So I usually know the titles before I even do my first watch. Yeah. They obviously flashed them during the credits. I didn't even know the third title until I was doing my notes today.
The triangle title?
Isosceles Triangle. And like, I get it, but I was just like, what is that title? It's just
I don't like when you like the competition, the
anything,
something that, you know, because you have the last $100, and I think that's not because the bet was for $100. See, it's almost like, oh, we can't use that.
Right. But yeah, it was just, I feel like there's no correlation to the titles. No. Like sometimes the titles are bad and the storylines are good and vice versa. But like Isosceles Triangle just feels like the first idea they had and they just were like, eh. So
yeah,
yeah. We'll come up with a better title as we do this tonight for that.
Of course.
For that plot.
So what was on, again, December 9th, 1978, Mike, we're in for a treat here. I will tell you this, there are no episodes of a television series up against Love Boat this week. We have
Which I do think we're kind of trending towards because of the mysterious disappearance of the American girls.
They're still somewhere. That plane crash episode, they never recovered.
It doesn't seem like it.
Imagine if they came back next week. The American older girls. It's just one of them.
Oh, no. Other American girls.
And then there is a TV movie on CBS at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
TV movie is called A Real American Hero. Immediately, I think of G.I. Joe.
Real American Hero.
A Real American Hero.
Okay. Not the greatest American hero.
No. Okay.
Okay.
I think that was an ABC thing, if I'm not mistaken. But
you might be right. Trust me, I'm excited about getting William Catt.
Oh, bring it! I have a lot to say about that.
Excellent.
How do you lose the instruction book on how to fly? Come on, you're better than that, Richard Catt.
Believe it or not, it's just me.
Drama. This is the synopsis of A Real American Hero. Drama concerning the life of Buford Pusser and chronicling his efforts to drive out of business a local moonshiner whose illegal liquor caused a number of teenagers to go blind. End quote.
Hang on.
Yes. Questions.
Okay.
Anything? I'm taking questions about Buford Pusser.
So Buford Pusser
Yes, sir.
is pro. No, he's
He's
anti-prohibition.
anti-blindness,
Wait. So
essentially.
this is during prohibition, or not necessarily?
You know what? Yes. I don't know, but I'm just gonna go.
So
Sure.
he's trying to save these kids from going blind because they're drinking hooch that's making them go blind.
Yeah, he's trying to. So the movie is chronicling Buford Pusser's efforts to drive a local moonshiner out of business.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with prohibition. He's not even necessarily anti-alcohol. He just doesn't like this
He doesn't like
blinding
teenagers
moonshine.
losing their sight. Yeah,
Okay, all
make
right, Buford.
make cleaner moonshine. Maybe that's his thing. Like,
Okay.
have a little less rust in that bucket, guys. Come on.
Do you think it's making them go blind because they're like they're doing those vodka shots in their eyeballs?
That's what it is. Starring. Who do you think played Buford Pusser? Who'd be good?
All right, let's see.
I got somebody in mind.
All right, so it's moonshine. It's the 30s or 40s. God, I want to say Brimley.
Brian Dennehy.
Okay.
I could see it. I could see
Although
it.
he's a little too like he's almost like too gravitas-y.
But he's younger though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Know.
So
Buford,
maybe.
I mean, you got to look a certain way to be named Buford Pusser. Like I couldn't play Buford Pusser.
No, I couldn't play Buford Pusser. No, it takes a special man to play Buford Pusser, and that special man apparently was Brian Dennehy.
You think he's related to former Sixer Rodney Buford?
That'd be awesome. What a story. On NBC at 9 p.m. TV special. I used to love these.
Christmas?
Not this one, but TV specials in general. The Christmas, yes. This is the Dean Martin Christmas in California.
Oh, baby.
Ooh. Taped at the Garrison Angelusen, horse ranch in Thousand Oaks, California.
Sure.
Featuring Connie Stevens. Huh.
Wait,
Mel Tillis.
Connie Stevens is the star of the show we watched tonight?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mel Tillis.
Oh, man. Mel Tillis ends up on all these shows.
He's everywhere. And the always funny Jonathan Winters.
Wow, that's a good group.
That is a good group.
I will say, that's not a... usually Dino has at least one, like, elegant, cool guy. Kind of
something. Yeah. Like...
That's a mixed bag over there.
Right. It's weird. Yeah, that is kind of a... All right, Mike.
But I would say if you're telling me, oh, it's something with Dean Martin from the 70s, yeah, I would have rather watched that.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
I'm not sure about Buford. Actually, I'd probably watch Buford too. You know who wouldn't like Dean Martin specials is probably Buford Pusser.
Not at all.
You know, Dino's into that moonshine. Yeah, I'm fine. I can see better than I did before.
No, it just reminds him of all the teenagers that'll never be able to watch that Dean Martin special because of the rusty moonshine. Like single tier, like that Native American in the Coke commercial. Same thing. But it's Buford Pusser. Sorry for the hard P. IMDb synopsis. Here we go, Mike. Number 1. Larry and Sybil Hartman plan to adopt an orphan in a port of call.
Okay. That's technically true. Although saying you plan to adopt them in a port of call makes it sound like you're getting them at the dock or something.
Really, like you haven't thought this through. You're like, no, we'll just go pick one up in Cabo.
Me get that in one of those pinatas.
What are those stick donuts? What are they? What are they? Churros? Give me some churros.
Give me a rancheroo.
They're just terrible. Y'all got Takis here? Love Takis. Adam and Meryl fall for Julie's friend Karen Maynard.
Ugh. I just
right there with you.
And first of all, like even the synopsis bugs me because they called him Adam and Meryl.
Yeah.
Come on, synopsis. Get off your high horse.
And finally, Wes and Renee Larson and their friend April Dunleavy plan a business deal with fraudulent executive Van Milner.
What?
I still don't understand what Van Milner did wrong.
Nothing.
I know we're going to get to. I'm
Van
stunned.
Milner did nothing wrong.
He did nothing
and
wrong.
Wes Larson can go to hell, as far as I'm concerned.
Wes Larson is a son of a bitch for what he tried, what he did, or he tried to
box
do.
Company, babe, because I'm going to put you in one if you ever talk bad about Dabney Coleman again.
Because it's like, what? Oh yeah, don't you say a bad word about Dabney Coleman, who was
Dabney Coleman
excellent.
Dabney Coleman probably had to have some sort of chiropractic after finishing this thing because he carried
everybody
garbage episode on his back.
He carried all of season 2 right now is on his back.
You're kind of right.
Like he was so good. It wasn't that Bob Crane thing where it was just effortless. It became that thing where he really bought that he was the character. Like he just is that good. Gotta love Dabney Coleman.
And the thing is, we've talked about this a lot. There's this was another. I think you'll agree, but this was basically another one of those one decent storyline. Other two storylines are absolute trash, and we have had a lot of these this year. But like the other performances that were like that were more broad. Billy Crystal had the old ladies, and the cruise ship Casanova had all the older women, and they were good. Like everybody else had.
Sure.
Now, Rue McClanahan was fine, but he was like Rue McClanahan was like hitting singles, and Dabney Coleman's hitting like 3-run jacks.
Yeah, he he was clearly. Everyone else was in the kiddie pool as far as acting goes. Dabney Coleman was definitely in the deep end of the pool. Much just made it look.
I would have been disappointed. I would have been sad if they. I assume this is his only appearance.
Yeah,
I would have been sad if they had Norman Feld it or something like that.
If he was just reading, basically.
I was so excited. We'll get to it, but when he comes on, I mean, he's Dabney Coleman the whole time, but he's like good guy Dabney Coleman.
Yeah, he's not 9 to 5.
Right. Yeah. So.
He's more like War Games after he realizes what happened.
Right. Second half War Games.
Yeah.
Getting shot, Jack Flack.
That's right.
Another Cloak and Dagger.
Well, let's get into guest stars right off the bat. Dabney Coleman, alphabetical order.
Just fantastic. Just always a huge fan. It was fun to see him in something a little different.
Same here.
And this is obviously before he does any of the stuff that we know him for.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying in terms of effortless. It's not the Bob Crane thing. That's because Dabney Coleman's not going to be a suave guy. But
no, he's just
the broken speech. Like it was very messy. The scenes with him and Rue McClanahan, like they were kind of talking over each other or cutting each other off. It was great.
It felt real, like a real,
like a real conversation. Yes.
Other notes on him: appeared in over 175 films and TV shows. Busy man. Wow. I didn't realize he was on Golden Pond as well.
Wow, there's like nobody in Golden Pond either. It's a really small cast.
Yeah. I remember my parents took me to the drive-in movie theater to watch that.
I wonder if that's how he ended up in 9 to 5.
I don't know. I have the 9 to 5 and Golden Pond War Games and the overlooked Cloak and Dagger, which I thought was an awesome movie growing up.
I mean, we talked about that last week. Absolutely.
Great movie. Next on the guest stars, a Miss Dina Dietrich played Renee Larson. Not much on her, Mike, except something very cool.
Okay.
She was best known for her portrayal of Mother Nature in a series of chiffon margarine commercials from 1971 to 1979. Nay, I say, Dina Dietrich, the chiffon margarine girl. Maybe. I mean, 8 years.
Chiffon margarine?
I don't know, but
never heard of that.
Just...
She looked so familiar.
She did look familiar.
I was like, oh, I'm thinking of Nancy Marchand. I'm thinking of, Naked Gun, Sopranos.
Yeah.
And like, she's the knockoff. But then I was like, let me look her up. And I just never really found the thing that I thought I knew her from. So sorry, chiffon margarine. So.
It is. Yeah. I'm sure it's a lot. Oh, I bet you they didn't figure out margarine in the 70s, early 70s.
We never heard of it. I think I knew all the butters at some point as a kid. So like they probably did discontinue it.
Oh,
You don't want your butter getting discontinued. You don't want your margarine getting discontinued right
No.
on the time of 3 Mile Island exploding. So,
Well, is margarine just like a fun way to not say like, hey, it's not butter,
yeah,
but it's butter. You know,
but
margarine's sort of a
yeah, but
like almond milk.
but
It's
then
not
they
really
figured out the
milk.
fun way to say it's not butter is I can't believe it's not butter. They actually did
See?
figure it out. So
And they just had the
not
hands.
Chevron or whatever that butter was.
Chiffon. That remember they was trying to butter a muffin and they had the hands that would pop up and they would smack each other's hand for trying to get into the. I can't believe it's spread,
Right, but not Chevron
but not no
or
not Chevron.
chiffon or whatever.
Yeah, chiffon.
Sorry, Marlena Dietrich, whoever this lady is.
Dave Madden playing that son of a bitch Wes Larson. First note Canadian.
Really? I guess that
Canadian.
makes sense.
Reuben Kincaid.
Reuben Kincaid. Yeah, I mean that's how he's because for the first half of this episode I couldn't remember what his name was, so I just kept calling him Reuben Kincaid. So.
He also had a recurring role as diner customer Earl Hicks on one of our favorites, Alice. I don't remember that at all.
Okay.
I think if I saw him, I might, but
vaguely. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like Mel's Diner had a lot of recurring characters. So
no. But yeah, screw you, Wes Larson. Just a snake.
Snitches get stitches, Wes Larson.
We have our friend Rue McClanahan coming up next playing April Dunleavy. I have some notes on her. Mike, we're going to see her 5 more times on the Love Boat.
Wow.
This is just her first of many.
So who's the next Golden Girl? Betty White, you think?
Or the
B. Arthur? I think B. Arthur might be too big. I don't know.
I don't know.
What's getting on that boat?
But I feel like Betty White might be a little too big too.
Yeah, but Betty White her husband's already been on. Yeah, she was married to businessman number 1.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So
interesting. I using that logic, I'd go Betty White.
Yeah, I think last place. If B. Arthur ever gets on, Estelle Getty will be last because I don't know that she will be able to make it before.
When did that off the air? When does that? Well, no, that movie came out around then, right? Like, don't Stop or My Mama Will Shoot. Didn't that come out in 70?
70, yeah.
Was that 79, 70?
Oh, right. That was Stallone's follow-up to Rocky.
That's it. Interesting thing about Rue McClanahan, big time sitcom roles. She was on Maude from 72 to 78.
Yep.
Mama's Family.
Yep.
From 83 to 84. Golden Girls, that mega hit, 85 to 92. What's that? What does that say? Don't forget about a little show called The Golden Palace. What's that? What's that show about? I'm glad you asked, Mike. The Golden Palace begins where the Golden Girls had ended, with Dorothy having married and left the 3 remaining housemates, and they invested in the Golden Palace. It was a hotel in Miami that was for sale. However, it is revealed after they bought it that the whole place had been stripped of all of its personnel to appear more profitable.
Wow.
There was only 2 employees in the hotel, and this is where it gets interesting. First is Roland Wilson, the hotel's manager, played by Don Cheadle, and Chuy Castillos, the hotel chef. It's the late 70s, so it's got to be Cheech Marin.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Freddie Prinze has died.
Right. It's got to be. It's before Paul Rodriguez.
It's Pepito.
Pepito, or like. And maybe Roland Wilson could have been played by Sinbad if this was like 5 years later. He was big. Man. He was hitting that. And the show lasted 24 episodes. So
wow. That sounds terrible. You know who I think? Who I think played the man who took Dorothy away from the Golden Girls? I believe it was multiple Love Boat appearer, 0-time Stubby nominee, Leslie Nielsen.
You know what? I think you're right because Missy went on a Golden Girls kick.
Yeah,
and watch the whole thing. I think you're right.
I think it's him. And if it's not him, you know who else it is? It's Harold Gould, the guy from The Caper. It's one of our past friends. So
Interesting. Yeah, but were any of them tall enough? Like you'd need Fred Gwynn, Lily, to take her away. She was.
Is Fred Gwynn going to be on this boat?
Oh, or give me Al
right?
Lewis.
Oh, Al.
Eddie,
My dad took a flight to Chicago with Al Lewis one time,
really?
and he said it's just weird because Al Lewis is Al Lewis is Al Lewis. Like it just doesn't
it's
matter.
Gimmick. It's funny. Gabrielle Melgar played Pepito. He was on 23 episodes of Chico and the Man. Heather Menzies, Menzies played Sybil Hartman, married Robert Urich in 1975.
You know what's good to fix your Menzies is chiffon margarine.
Chiffon margarine. It's not just butter. They say you can find it in your pharmacy aisle. Chiffon margarine. Does not need to be refrigerated. Tons of TV appearances. We'll see her again next season. Victor Milan, real name Joseph Brown, played Father Ramos.
Oh, the hell with that guy too.
Yes, he was just.
Oh my God!
I don't know what's really going on. He didn't seem very father-like. The way that whole thing was weird.
Little bait and switchy there, pops.
Yeah, not a crib to be found. No baby. Doesn't even smell like babies.
I saw Annie. This is not a real orphanage. Get out of here.
It brings me back to that dog that had puppies with no sign of puppies. It was that same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, if you go back to episode 9, Connie Stevens played Karen Maynard. I found her incredibly annoying. Her voice, just the giggles.
Well, I mean, that whole storyline didn't have anything, and they never gave you any reason to care.
No, and at the end there was still no reason. It was like, oh, that was just a big spoiler alert. It was a big nothing.
This ending was we always joke about how they ran out of time or they just stopped writing things or whatever, but this really felt like it just was like, we got 10 more minutes to fill.
I think they threw their pencils away at 36 minutes into the episode. Everyone got up and threw their writing utensils down. Long shots and horn things, and we'll get to that.
Double stooping action shots.
Oh my God. The hat's on for now. The hat is on for now. Robert Urich, again, played Larry Hartman. We've talked about him many times. Again, this is the last time we will see him on the Love Boat, but
really,
maybe we'll see him again in 1998.
Well, we're not doing that.
I'm just saying.
That's really it for him. He does 3 episodes in the first year and a half and then never comes back.
That's it.
I know you love him. Not in this episode. He has not been great in any of these Love Boat episodes.
Well, because I want Spencer for hire.
Yeah.
I don't want stupid Larry Hartman.
Hartman.
He's real brave about trying to smack kids around.
Larry Hartman ready to throw down with some children, but too dumb to not get outsmarted by children constantly.
Go ahead.
You good?
Portal report.
So we talked about at the beginning of the year. We were very excited that we were getting the Portal report after a whole season of just typeface. We got the Portal report. In the first couple of weeks, we were kind of bummed out because it was like just clearly clips from the episode itself. They weren't getting any of those classic poses that we thought. Right. Then we got away from that. And so what the hell do we get today? Bunch of the old just clips of episodes. Like they're just pulling stuff out. That was the first time I realized that we were in for a bit of a flashback here.
Yeah. This was the first, and the third one really. Well, we'll get there, but yeah, I was a little. All right,
things I thought we were done with.
Same. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. If there's no other business, are we ready? You want to get on the boat?
Yeah, let's get on so we can jump off.
Yeah, quickly get off the boat. We begin outside of the boat, actually.
Yeah.
Van Milder, which I love when they start here. I love
it's funny.
something.
So I'm conflicted because this is exactly what I just said. This is definitely something of the early 20s episodes that we were getting a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a character who is only there to introduce the other character. They never come back. They're basically just giving him a ride, and that's all this guy was.
Van Milner's exiting a taxi, and he's walking with his brother Peter. Peter says, "You could live for a couple of months on what you spent on this cruise." Mike, as we've seen in the past, what did the cruise cost? Was it $37 and something
the boat,
cents?
See, this week the boat is expensive. I mean,
Tony. What do they open up different rooms? They put two rooms together and they charge twice.
Don't forget, because that jackass, what the hell is his name? Wes Larson. He made a big deal that you're living in the high rollers room. So I think Dabney went all out, but still. Maybe his family would save more money if his brother didn't ride in the cab with him and then not get on the boat. He just
weird
to ride with him. Like,
I walked with you to carry the one suitcase. Like, okay,
sure, nothing better to do.
See you later, Peter. Peter Milner. We'll never see you again, sir.
We'll never see you again.
He's out. Van says, "If I'm broke, I'm going out with a bang."
Yeah,
let's go.
So right here, you kind of thought it was going to be like a Brewster's Millions situation where he was just going to end up in the bottom of a bottle or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once again, people going out with a bang on the Love Boat. So.
Well, also, there wasn't a lot of scenes where he didn't have a drink in his hand.
Yeah.
So he was fully engaged with his plan. Just Rue McClanahan's she won't shut up about work.
And like, we'll get to the reasons why he needed the money, but like ultimately there was a long stretch there where he wasn't working and he still had enough money to pay for this very expensive cruise. So old Van Milner was making hand over fist back in the old days.
Yeah, he's got something. He's doing something nobody knows about. Has to be. Just for that jacket alone. Good Lord. We see Julie greeting passengers. Hold on. Julie's hair. That is season 1 hair.
That is season 1 hair. It's probably, like I said, I think this was filmed right around that bad stretch of episodes we ran into, like
21,
23. Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, this is.
I guess sweeps are over, huh?
And again, here's the thing. In theory, right? If we come back next week and Julie looks with the same haircut, what's like? Oh, she got a haircut. But we all know that's not what's going to happen.
We know that's not what's going to happen. Yeah. Enter Sybil and Larry Hartman. They're adopting a baby in Puerto Vallarta.
Baby capital of the world.
Tons of babies. You don't even have to tell them. You just show up. They hand you a baby. Enter April Dunleavy with Renee and that son of a bitch, Wes Larson. Wes recognizes Van, introduces him to April, and Van is ready to move on to some drinking. What are we doing? What is this?
They don't call him Van because he's walking. He is driving right through.
Driving right to the bar.
Yeah, that's the A-team van right there.
Sweet ride, by the way. April and Van leave while Renee and that son of a bitch Wes get checked in.
Blanche Dubois, or April Dunleavy, she really does not like her COO or CEO or whatever. Poor Jerry Hamlin. He really gets Jerry Hamlin just immediately
under the bus. Just immediately, Jerry. I guarantee you, Jerry's not worse than Wes.
Yeah, but do you know how much money Wes made last year?
We all do. That son of a bitch. Wes says to his wife, maybe April found someone to take her mind off of business.
Meanwhile, yeah, let's do a quick recap here because they made sure that you knew where everyone worked.
Yeah.
So April Dunleavy runs the Dunleavy Institute.
Right.
Wes Larson used to run let me make sure I have this right. The Larson Box Company, Box and Paper Company.
That's good.
They are now doing business as Larson Industries Limited. So box and paper is just like, is that like Dunder Mifflin? Is that even? No, Dunder Mifflin didn't make boxes. So
but how can you say you can't give somebody or help somebody with a job when the company, your name is the name of the company?
Exactly. It sounds like you don't have a lot of power over there, Larson.
Garbage, or a piece of cardboard, I should say.
Wes was a boy genius, or not Wes, Dabney Coleman was a boy genius at McCullough Marketing. So that's where everybody worked. It was very important that we got all those businesses in. And of course, you can pick up your Dunleavy Institute merch at the merch store.
We've got official
Larson box and paper.
Yeah, we've got officially Wes Larson cardboard boxes. Wait a minute. All this talk about marketing. You're going to market a cardboard box and paper? What are you doing?
He didn't hire. That's why he had to go on it. That's why he had to go to the board to hire a marketing guy.
It's paper and cardboard, Hey, where do I put this stuff? In a box.
Hey, is it lined? Yes.
I bet you they sold way more cardboard boxes back then simply because there was like no recycling. I bet you threw away less and you stored more back then, I bet. Or you just threw everything away.
I would love to see his his profit sheet for Q4. How the hell he's making that much money? I have no idea.
He's just full of it. He's got a storage facility full of secrets. That's what Wes does.
He's funded by the Ayatollah.
He's just a real. Yeah, I heard you love Iran. Screw that guy. Julie's good friend Karen Maynard is boarding the ship. Steubing and Doc immediately throw themselves at her. And again, Mike, we talk about it almost every week. It amazes me that there's just nothing to do. People are boarding the ship.
Yeah.
And you're doing this? I mean, I know you have 2 sticks to operate, but this is ridiculous.
This might be, and this is a big statement.
Yeah.
If you take out the actual jobs that were being done for flirting purposes or for retaliation purposes, nobody's working.
Nobody does anything.
And this might be the most egregious not working that we've seen. Usually there's somebody, usually Isaac's making a drink or something. Nobody works this entire time. And then a lot of them are not even not working. They're doing Julie gets off the boat for a while.
Julie is so interwoven with this couple. And I'm just thinking, what?
Yeah.
What? No, I don't want you. No, take your spoon back.
You know why?
Because she's
still trying to get Robert Urich. All these episodes, 27 episodes later.
You look like someone I used to try to make out with.
That's right. Remember when I made out with you and then you left the boat with your baby?
Robert Urich, he's probably just had enough of Julie's shenanigans. I'm never coming back because you're just getting all up in my.
I just think it's funny because he's the second person to have 3, right? Michelle Lee had 3.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because I feel like they always moved Michelle Lee around. I feel like Robert Urich has had Julie, a lot of Julie plot in every one.
Lots of Julie. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Doc and Steubing immediately throwing themselves at her, and the competition is on, Mike. The competition's on. I'm just going to leave it at that scene because they're just, they're running away. We get it.
Do you really think if you dial 1 in a cabin, you get the captain of the boat?
Where's he gonna answer it? He doesn't have a cell phone or a pager. There's just gonna be some phone ringing, or every phone rings a special ring.
And he's never on the bridge anyway. Plus, would you really want to be that accessible if you were the captain of a boat theoretically doing work?
Well, from what we've seen, I don't even know if there's a phone on the bridge. That thing looked like the biggest like makeshift. Oh, look at my clubhouse. Oh, this is terrible. It's raccoons and nobody else is here. Okay.
There's a pretty fun slide in the back. Yeah.
Looked like they were at Red Lobster standing in there. That was ridiculous.
I cannot believe that's how we finally got the steering wheel.
That's just my ticker tape close-ups are back. What? I was irritated by this.
I was too. Because
Like,
this is like
out.
This is like, okay,
slap, man.
we are firmly back in season 1, and the only reason we got portals is because we realized people will catch on that we're back in season 1.
Threw them in there, but you can't. Oh, and we see Steubing back on those 2 stupid sticks.
But it was like a lower shot.
It was. Well,
I actually went back a couple times and tried to pause it because I was like, it can't be the same shot. Like, it looks better.
It does.
That's the only thing that's done better. It's way better than him pulling the sticks.
Well, you can see now, my theory is those sticks. I'm like, what is he doing? He's controlling the ticker tape cannons that shoot at the boat. That's what it is. Only 2 of them. It's a button.
Oh,
button.
So
that's it.
It's the Rip Taylor guns.
That's it, but just a little bit more. Yep, that's it. Because Steubing is full of pizzazz.
Oh, razzmatazz.
Oh, we're on the outside set, and the winds are a whipping, Mike. Finally, we have wind. Doesn't seem to affect the microphones at all. Because everyone's like this now.
Very natural.
Very natural. Julie and Karen talking about the pool. Apparently, Julie does 0 work. Doc comes up with a tiny bottle of champagne for he and Karen. And you already know what's going to happen. Oh, here comes Steubing with a big old magnum of champagne. A comical, like an F1 size bottle of champagne.
Right.
Ugh.
Steubing eventually says the thing that we're all thinking already, but this is ridiculous that a captain is already like...
You got to go to prop.
You paying for that, Merrill?
Exactly. Or maybe he won it like 30 years ago. It's been in his room.
You think that big size Magnum wouldn't fit in that tiny office of his now?
No.
You think the Princess Line has a rule against captains taking a Magnum of booze?
And sharing it with one passenger?
Yeah. You made a big deal about... That's why Tony had to pay, right?
Unless this is one of the reasons why he won Captain of the Year. Like, wow, you go above and beyond for your passengers. He's so stupid.
The beginning of this scene, when Karen's talking to Julie, and she's like jealous of Julie's job, and Julie starts like downplaying and everything, and she's like, "And if I lost my job, I'd kill myself." And I was like, "Oh, Julie."
Yeah, and she looks right into the camera.
I do it too. So
she mouths Lauren twos just to get her, poor Julie.
This was, so I'm going to call this the third thing. Obviously the portals, the ticker tape, and then this is like, we don't know what Julie is. Season 1, like they have underused her in season 2 to a almost criminal point.
Absolutely.
But this is like straight out of, we're just throwing shit at the wall with Julie. So
every week it was some new personality trait that was a little like Jesus, Julie.
And she's in 2 storylines this week. So you get 2 different Julies too. Like,
it's too much. There's too much Julie. From a distance, Isaac and Gopher are watching this go down, and they make $100 bet. Isaac thinks Doc will woo Karen, and Gopher's money is on Steubing.
That's a smart bet by Isaac.
Oh, completely. Here we go back to Larry and Sybil in their cabin, which somehow has been turned into like a nursery from wall to wall. There's so much baby furniture in this room. It's just
right. And like, here's the
absurd.
Thing. First of all, having recently transported a newborn baby,
did you take a boat home? You take a boat home when you brought him home?
No.
You didn't take a cruise to bring him home? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, what did they book the like we just got a baby suite? Because Julie didn't seem to know that they were doing that. And I don't think you can just straight up bring furniture onto a boat.
Surprise. Surprise. Plus, what baby's going to be fussy? You're picking them up at a questionable orphanage, which I do have the name. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but you're picking up an infant. You know what? Let's combine picking up a baby in Mexico to, a cruise. Everyone will be happy.
Sure. I'm sure all
Oh,
the shots. I'm sure all the shots are being taken care of and everything. Let's also
I
make sure
can't
we're on
think
a
of.
vessel with 600 people.
That's true. What could happen? What could
Yeah.
go wrong? Do you guys
Yeah.
have formula? I see you have everything else in this room. Or did they have formula back then?
I don't know if they had
How else
formula.
is the baby going to eat?
He's just getting one of Isaac's world famous pina
World
coladas.
famous pina. You could drink that through a nipple because it was such nonsense. Liquid bullshit is what that drink is. Awful.
Do you
Um,
think that
mm,
do you think that they are in fact naming the baby after Robert Urich's father, Robin, or it's after 1/3 of the supergroup, the Bee Gees, Robin Gibb?
I yes, yes. I think it is the Brothers Gibb wins that, or unless it's Robin Hood
Oh, good
or
point.
Robin Yount.
Too early for Robin
Too
Yount. I
early.
was thinking, yeah. I guess Dick Grayson could have been the
Yeah,
ultimate Robin.
the
Yeah,
ultimate Robin.
yeah.
Uh, Robin Masters. No.
You know what? Maybe they were naming it after their future son because he's always robbing people.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Pepito!
Oh, yeah. Hey, do me a favor. Can we say, what do they get? A dollar every time somebody said Pepito? It was let's play the
Pepito!
Pepito.
Pepito!
If that was the drinking game, yeah, do this, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch this episode, every time you hear the word Pepito,
Yeah.
have a
First of all,
sip.
don't watch it.
Don't.
Second of all, that is why I'm wearing this P though. This is not for Phillies. This is
It's
for
for
Pepito.
Pepito. That makes sense. Yeah, the P in captain stands for Pepito as well. Uh,
Capito.
Julie is on the door and she brings him a gift from the ship's boutique because they would have baby spoons at a ship's boutique
Thank
along
you.
with
Thank you.
Swank magazine or
Right.
whatever. Good Lord.
That's
But
like
no sunglasses.
no sunglasses.
No.
300 bottles of Oriental Wind. All the
And
kitten magazines you want.
300 pairs of pantyhose because that's what you wear to the pool.
Yes. And one baby spoon.
One gold baby spoon. That's great.
Well, actually, I guess, do you think they have all the other stuff? Like they have the crib and everything? That's where they bought it.
At the ship. It's amazing they had everything we needed.
Yeah. It's a one-stop shop. Meanwhile, there's
It's all put together too.
all of a sudden you start seeing people take the ice cream out. It's just like, oh no.
Oh no. It's all adding up. But I do love ice cream. I did notice specifically in this storyline, there was an annoying amount of laugh track used.
Yeah, they
It's
knew.
like,
They knew.
It was just so much.
Well, and also because, like, to your point, between the being on the deck with the wind and then the weird, we're just going to sit in an orphanage for 5 minutes scene, like, they didn't have, like, natural sound either. It was clearly just a lot of... And this was, like, because they shot it a year ago, it didn't even have, like, what they have kind of started using as their normal, like, act break soundtrack. So
it was a very odd, and we didn't have the extra long shots. I noticed too. It was
it looked and I have been saying this during the season. There are episodes that look a lot better. This looked cheap.
It did look cheap.
This looked like somebody shot it on their home video cam. Well, it wasn't even video.
Like thrown together. I really felt like it was just loudspeaker announcements announcing that Jackpot Bingo is now in progress in the Starlight Lounge. I did great that they announced that, but following that announcement, we're in a bar called the Pirates Cove, Mike. That's what the window says. The Pirate Bar has a name. Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
okay. So you're telling me they prequeled the Pirates Cove? So
I mean, I saw it on a window, but it
I
was
mean that
weird
counts.
because it was facing in. Like, wouldn't the logo be out? Like, who's the
Well,
logo for?
if the
The inside
logos,
people or the outside people?
well, it's for the people. It's for the Dolphins.
Then they have it backwards.
Yeah. Well, no one
So
was dressed like Isaac though.
no. There was a sort of a somewhat pirate-ish waitress, but nothing like
Okay. You know what?
Isaac the human owl.
I'll at least maybe give him that. But again, because I know this stuff was shot out of order.
Yeah, it doesn't make.
Wait a minute.
I'm
Didn't
gonna
I
keep
say a
my
couple
eyes
weeks
open.
ago if we saw something about that bar that proved it was out of order? God damn it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
But the thing is,
four.
those are those things that always get us because we're like, damn it, it's not hard. Hey, I'll
No.
meet you at the Pirates Cove. Okay, cool. We
Yeah.
can
Or
assume that where all these pirates are is the Pirates Cove.
did you throw that sign away that you couldn't put it back up when the Billy Barty's sitting there pounding whatever Mai Tais or
Well,
whatever?
I don't know if pounding. I mean, it wasn't a lot of liquid in the glass, so
Well, Isaac is busy. Isaac
yeah,
couldn't pour with those flouty sleeves. So
it's yeah. Sir, can you please get your sleeves out of my drink?
yeah,
I
because
can't help it.
your blouse is drenched. So
Oh, it's terrible. Why did I wear this on picture night? It's just terrible. Um, that son of a bitch Wes is talking about all the money he makes to Van. Wes and Renee excuse themselves, leaving Van and April to chat. Van says he owned a marketing company, but when his wife died, he took a sabbatical and did a couple years in the Peace Corps. Okay.
he tried to teach Bolivians marketing, which is a very noble task. Good guy that Van Milner.
I just find that hard to believe. Bolivia. Karen and Julie.
How did the Larson Box and Paper Company make $6 million profit last year?
I mean,
First of all, I shouldn't know that, Wes.
No,
have a little,
no, you
have a
shouldn't
little
know
truth. But
Yeah,
like, how $6 million in 1978 probably is like what, a zillion?
Oh, it's just there's not even a number. You just got to have a truck of abacuses. It's
Do you
completely
think
ridiculous.
You know what it is?
Hmm.
The boxes are filled with counterfeit money.
Bonds,
Right.
like Beverly Hills Cop.
He literally made $6 million last year.
He's just talking crazy. Just he's full of it. He's and shady. I always thought Reuben was shady, and I think that son of a bitch Wes is shady as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Karen and Julie are entering the lounge, and I noticed, Mike, this was a weird. And I'm trying to figure out: is this the whiskey sour lounge where Loretta Swit? Remember when they were having?
Well, you know what? Yeah,
Because I
it
don't.
might be.
It didn't look. It was weird. The setup. It was those like booth chair thingies, and
It might
it
be
was a
because
bit
we
odd.
don't get a lot of outdoor drinking like that.
Yeah, no,
And that's
not
what
at
the
all.
whiskey sour was. So yeah, that is possible.
She tells Julie that Steubing is strong and handsome,
Mm-hmm.
and Doc is romantic and has quote unquote great hands.
Okay.
Okay, great. We cut to Doc Steubing sitting at separate tables. Karen's caught between them until Steubing orders Doc to go prepare his weekly medical report. Score one for Steubing.
That was good. That was pretty good.
Good.
You got to give Steubing credit. That
was good.
Yeah.
And we go to our first break. All right. We got some things cooking here. We come back. We're in the choral dining room. Julie loves to ask that band leader to play something. And apparently he doesn't even have to communicate what it is. The band just starts playing. She says, "Can the band play? Yes, sir. That's my baby. Hey, how about you don't be such a Badinsky, Julie? Don't you have a job to do or a meal to eat or something to do?"
Does this
Oh,
band know anything prior to
who's
WW2? Like,
Leslie Nielsen's singing this one? Oh, I love that one.
oh my god!
Just
Yes,
for
just
Larry and Sybil. So in the last two scenes, she's buying him a spoon. Now she's doing this song. Like, God, leave him alone. There's 600 people on the ship. There's two of them here.
she's going to kill Sybil Hartman and steal that baby.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what
She's
she's
like,
doing.
you're
She's
with
like,
me, Rob
Julie's like, listen, Yurik,
or
you get
Larry.
off this boat with a baby once, you're
One
not
time.
getting
Yeah,
off
yeah,
again.
yeah. Over my dead body.
Yeah,
For
literally.
real. Julie's
Yeah.
lost her. You know what?
Yes, sir. That's my baby. Like she was being very literal.
Just yeah. Can you play Orphan, Orphan, Orphan? Like, good Lord, man.
Can you play the Raising Arizona theme?
Just do you know La Cucaracha? Just something. Julie has a band play. Julie asked Larry and Sybil if they would like her to accompany them to the orphanage. What the hell? And then Sybil's like, I thought you'd never
But you
ask.
never ask.
What?
Hey,
What's
Robert
going
Urich,
on, man?
listen. On this, the most important day in our young family's history, do
Yeah.
you think it's possible that the cruise director would join us to go to the minister?
That'd be like, Mrs. Robertson's in labor, and you guys are about to have the baby, and then you hear and it's me, and I'm like, "All right, we going? Is it go time?" I'm like, what?
Here's
What are you doing?
As dumb as that sound? No, it's not you. It's the guy who drove the bus to the hospital.
Yeah,
that I don't know.
that's true. Oh yeah, that's true. It's not even me. It's the guy who sat next to me on the Greyhound bus.
Right.
Yeah, there's Bill. Do you mind? Yeah, it's not like it's a big moment or anything.
Listen, you might want some help around town.
She's just
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so needy too. Like she's just.
Oh, she inserts herself like 50 times into this.
Good Lord, it's
and
just
no time a helpful way either.
No, just she's such a like I said, she's such a Badinsky, man. Stop being. It's just like I've heard of the phrase, like in the customer service world, you teach classes and they say, teach people positive selfishness. And this isn't positive selfishness. It's like she wants to be in that moment because she fears she'll never have that or whatever. Like she's just crazy if she wants to be. Poor Julie. April and Van are having drinks, and Van's wearing an amazing red tuxedo jacket. Could not get enough of that jacket. Wow.
So good.
Oh. April again, she starts yammering. I'm going to say yammering about the hospital.
Yeah, she's very business focused.
Good Lord. And Van's like, can we stop? I don't want to talk about business. Just stop. Just stop.
This is where we get the acting, the master class, where they're kind of talking over each other because she's still trying to talk about business. And he's like, or we could talk about this. And then poor Larry Hamlin gets another shot.
So. He does. He really does. It is funny. Yeah, so the question is, how do I market a hospital? Which again is the most broad, like what? You want a quick answer?
Well, I'll tell you this. If I was marketing a hospital, the first thing I would do is not call it the Dunleavy Institute.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. Like, what do you guys
make? Hey, I broke my ankle. Could you please take me to the nearest institute?
Yeah, take me to the DLV. Dunleavy, no, the DLV. Yeah, that's stupid. Just call it a hospital.
To the Franklin Institute or the Art Institute.
How about you don't name it? How about you don't give it your last name? How about that?
Yeah.
Way to make it about yourself, April. Jeez.
Dunleavy Hospital. There, done.
There it is.
Levy Hospital.
Done.
They're done. Levy Hospital.
Yeah, and Van's advice, stop talking. He tries to shut her up with some smooching, and it works for now. For now.
Yeah.
Julie, Sybil, and Larry arrive via taxi at Orfanatorio de Santa Teresa. My favorite orphanage in Mexico.
It is an elaborate like exterior shot. We get them out of the cab and into this big old building, which looks like a grade school that I attended.
Yeah, it was an odd.
And then, man, the cathedral ceilings are just
The place
muy
was so
bueno,
spacious for an orphanage, and there was
muy
no.
bueno.
I didn't hear one child the whole time in the orphanage. I didn't hear a baby cry.
This life does not appear to be hard knocked.
No. They're not eating gruel in this place because there's only one person.
The once again though, we haven't had we were just stepping over orphans in season 1, and I don't know that we've had an orphan since,
Unless it's the Pepitos, that one of the orphans from the ship before. He's just older now. Probably not.
Do you think there was a Pepito in the Christmas episode last year?
They left him behind because he stole.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I don't know why they decide to go orphan so often, but this was a level beyond orphan. So
yeah, this was they're greeted by a young boy named Pepito. Take a drink. If you're playing the Pepito drinking game. He says all they have at the orphanage is bread and water, then tricks Larry into looking away while he steals his glasses.
Way to go, Larry.
I can't stand Pepito. I know why he's in an orphanage, because a lot of other people couldn't stand him either.
It really is. We always talk about it, but Act 2 was where I confirmed that I hate 2 of the storylines.
I'm so with you. Act 2 just... Act 1, I was like, I was a little worried. Then Act 2, I'm like, oh.
And I got to tell you, it's too early. Act 2 is too early to hate one of the storylines, and the whole show is too early to hate both the storylines. So
it's enter Father Ramos, who tells Pepito, well, let me go back. He's saying that all he has to eat is bread and water. Enter Father Ramos, tells him at Pepito that his roast beef lunch is getting cold and to give Larry's glasses back. My note is, I've had enough of Pepito already.
Well, you know who else has? Is the Padre.
Oh, he's... there was never a baby. This was...
Exactly. This is an incredibly elaborate... Well, actually, it's not even that elaborate, because the Hartmans were like, we're going to get into a boat that you cannot reach us in case anything changes.
You know, Father's like, he's not a pyromaniac, if that's what you think. He's not that.
Right.
Get him on a boat.
Sleep with one eye open.
Suddenly the music changes. Things get real serious. Father Ramos has some bad news for... How long did they... when did this happen? Okay, sorry. The birth mothers decided to keep the baby.
Why would you come when they came? Either come way early so you're there for the birth, or come after you got that baby all signed, sealed, and delivered.
Something, but why wouldn't they call them and say, "Hey, don't bother coming to Mexico. We'll break that news to you." Where she left an hour ago, or it's weird.
Well, you know why? You know why? Because the Padre was like, these idiots will take Pepito. So.
I'll keep the baby here because she's pleasant and she's very quiet. Actually, she's not fussy at all.
Yeah, I can't wait till season 9 when we go back to the orphanage and little Robin is running around.
Little Robin. That's funny. Julie tries to console Sybil by giving the worst advice possible. There'll be other babies. Oh, the worst.
This is my favorite part. She does the classic acting move of, "Oh, Mrs. Hartman, Sybil." It's just like, yes, cruise director. I meant to bring this up when they walked in. The Hartmans introduced themselves, and then they introduced Julie, and the priest doesn't even flinch, and it's like, hi,
who are you?
I'm Larry Hartman. This is my wife. We're gonna be the parents of the baby, and also we brought the lady who takes the tickets at the airplane. So
we met her on the Lido deck.
Yeah.
No, she wants to be here.
She bought us a spoon. It's important she was here.
She got us. We were able to fly with one bag for free. So we thought, thanks, Julie, for saying that, by the way.
Yeah.
Father Ramos says, oh, coincidentally, there's another child who needs a family. Guess who? I don't know. Maybe the only child we've seen in the orphanage. It's Pepito.
Hey.
Hey, Pepito. And Sybil thinks it's a great idea, and Larry was like, hell no. We came to get a baby. I don't even know. This kid's got a mustache. How old is this? He didn't say that, but Larry's like, no.
Anytime that you go into a store and there's only one item left, you got to like take a second, right?
Well, yeah, you have to assess how long it's been there.
Right.
Is it
Like,
damaged?
is there only one item left because it's such a popular item and you are lucky? Or is it only one item left because that thing's been there since 1974?
Yeah, it's a difference between what an opportunity or what a horrible mistake it was for me to eat whatever was in that last package. It's terrible. There's a reason.
So
if Pepito was milk, it would have expired many, many, many years ago.
The minister, he knew he had the fish hook. He knew what he was doing.
It's a
but
ruse.
He tells them like, take your time on this decision, no pressure, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you at minimum need to get back in the cab, back on the boat, talk about it at the bar, sleep on it. You do not go home with Pepito immediately.
You're saying they should talk about it, or they should talk about it with Julie and come up with a decision.
Yeah, as a family.
As a family. I mean, you know how Adam Bricker feels about family. We heard that last week. Remember, this is Julie reminds them, and screw you, Julie, by the way.
Way too involved.
It just reminds them how cute Pepito is.
Easy, Julie.
Yeah, settle. As the priest tells them to take their time.
You know what it is?
What is it?
Julie's got eyes for the priest. He's old and he's a priest.
Oh.
Yeah, she's trying to get Pepito out of there.
Yeah.
Listen, Julie's in this port every trip.
I'll be back in 4.5 days. Padre.
We'll work up another roast beef sandwich there, Father.
No blocking for Pepito.
That's what it is.
But then Pepito comes in dressed with luggage in hand, and then I'm like, so that means they have to take him? Like you can't force somebody into a yes that big. And that'd be like if I went on a blind date and the girl showed up in a wedding dress and I'd have to go, guess I have to get married now.
Yeah.
No.
And here's the thing. You have a getaway car. Like, it's not like Pepito's going to follow you home.
You have a getaway ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can't follow you.
I get that you are desperate. I do get it. And I think the Padre was predatory in his actions.
Yeah.
But you can't make that decision on the fly. You just can't. You are devastated in the moment.
They would have taken anybody. To be honest with you, like their devastation lasted part of a scene.
It was. I feel like they really just want the earned income credit.
I was just thinking the write off. My little Pepito deduction. How do you say deduction in Espanol?
El deduction.
Also, Mike, we had a few downloads this week from Mexico itself. So
there you go.
Hola to our Mexican fans.
Big Pepito heads down there.
Big time. Lucky for you, we've got something in the merch store. It's the El Pepito doll on a sticko. And you hit a button, it just says Pepito.
Oh, Pepito.
Pepito. And he's he's eating roast beef. It's a whole thing.
He loves it. He loves it.
We're back on the Lido deck, and Van and that son of a bitch Wes are driving. Well, Van is driving golf balls. Wes is just being the son of a bitch that Wes always is.
Impressive that we finally got this, right? We haven't actually seen this. People have talked about it, but we haven't actually seen the golf thing.
Yeah.
This is basically replacing skeet shooting.
Yeah.
In terms of like outdoor activity that these guys can talk at. So
it's kind of lame that it's a net.
It's kind of lame that they shot it through the net for like
it was
a minute.
Weird.
Right?
Like, what are we doing here? We find out Van was a victim of downsizing. He's been out of work for a year. Wait a minute. Did his wife really die?
Yeah.
Yes, right? Okay.
Yeah, wife dies. He drops out of work, goes to the Peace Corps. He
Peace Corps.
tries to
Okay.
get back in.
And
The
then
guy who replaced him,
a
they
year
liked him,
ago.
so he didn't get his job, and then he hasn't been able to
Gotcha.
find a job.
Okay. So he's down to his last few dollars. Van asked about working with Wes, and Wes is just, oh, I really wish I could.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah, you're real powerful executive there,
yeah,
Wes
real
Larson.
powerful. Your name's on the company.
You can't get somebody that you chased him down on the boat. Let's remember that.
And I felt like Wes was threatened by Van.
Oh, 100%.
Like in a bunch of different ways. You know, just like
the only time he was nice to Wes or to Van was when he knew he already had a job.
Or when he started winning money.
Yeah.
At the end. Everyone was real forgetful when you start putting thousands of dollars up on a
actual money too, not that money that they print at the Larson Box and Paper Company.
West Bucks, also at the merch store. Mike, this is a huge moment in the show, not just the Love Boat show, but for our show.
Our show, yeah.
For the first time in 37 episodes of this project, we're on the bridge, or are we? Mike, there is no way in hell that a ship this size, right? That the bridge of a ship this size, there was no blinking lights. There's no navigation things. It was one wheel and a window. There's no way in hell. That is a fake steering wheel. That is a fake steering wheel. I mean, there's no way. There's no way.
It did seem a little underwhelming after all this time.
Yeah. A wooden wheel like that. That's all it was.
Yeah, it did look like it was like a Long John Silver's entrance.
Yeah. Yeah. They were eating. You can see they were, they were having clam strips while they were steering this wheel. And no crew up there.
I mean, we obviously have built it up, right, into it being a big thing. This was incredibly
so
disappointing that this is how we got it. But yeah, they could have dressed up the set. I don't need it to be Star Trek, right? But
but give me some technology.
Where's that stupid compass thing that he gave
thing
for Christmas or something? Like,
there's nothing there. There's not a blinking light. There's not a compass.
Like thin telescopes or something.
I didn't see the letters N, S, E, or W. I saw nothing. So what are you steering against? Just visual? What are you just eyeballing it, Stubing?
Give me a parrot.
Nothing.
And is he like a ship that size too? Would the steering wheel only be a one-person job?
It'd probably be a big.
Would there be
wheel.
Like a second person up there just in case?
Stupid. It's so stupid. I've seen cars with bigger steering wheels than that. Completely ridiculous.
And this is really where I started to get pissed because it's like, this is what the first thing is going to be. This is it. It's like if the first home run in a new ballpark is hit by some scrap player that you don't like. Like,
it's just insulting. Like you guys might as well said you were at the moon. Oh, look, we're on the moon. Like, come on. There's zero imagination here. However, we did see this episode Stubing in his two sticks. Yeah. But what we did not see, we still have not seen Stubing steer the ship.
That's true.
So
the only person who's actually steered the boat is Karen Maynard.
Karen Maynard.
That's ridiculous.
Captain. Yeah.
Captain Karen Maynard.
Captain K. She enter Doc, who calls the captain out for violating maritime law. Apparently, it's against sea rules to let a passenger steer the ship. Well, who else is going to steer it, Mike? No one else is going to steer the ship if Karen Maynard's not going to steer the ship.
I wish, what would have saved this episode is if Doc had just decided to go all for it and like the actual Coast Guard shows up and arrests Stubing.
Oh, just take it too far. Yeah.
Or like takes him down.
That'd be fantastic.
I would give this a high rating if that happened.
Oh, and then he just becomes the captain. He throws an eye patch on, and it's Adam's boat now. We got new rules. So yeah, Doc wins that round. Back to Pepito again. If you're
Pepito.
following along at home, have a drink. He's upset because there's only a crib in Larry and Sybil's cabin. It is true. Like, you'd think that maybe they would address that. Like, hey, don't be weirded out that there's a crib. We thought we were picking up an infant. We're not going to treat you as though you're an infant, like
Let
that
me level with
gangster
you,
baby.
Pepito.
Yeah, and in Bugs
Plus,
Bunny.
Julie couldn't have called ahead, get that room cleared out.
No kidding. If they could get all that crap put together, assembled, that was
What happens? What happens to all that stuff?
firewood.
Well, you know what? I mean, let's be honest. Larry Hartman was a bit of a temper boy.
Oh, he's
he
none too pleased.
Destroys that crib, right? I mean, he absolutely destroys that crib.
Like one of those rage room kind of things where they put the helmet on. He's just every wet wipe, he's throwing it against the wall. Actually, there's probably before.
He breaks it like it's hardcore heaven.
He's so mad. He's so mad. 24/7 champ.
He's mad about everything. He's mad about he didn't get a baby. He's mad that he did get a Pepito. He's just mad.
Pissed.
He's mad that he can't hit Pepito. He's definitely mad he can't hit Pepito.
He wants to hit Pepito so bad. Well, Pepito steals glasses. He steals watches. Like,
he's mad they found Pepito.
They're stuck. I guess that talk didn't last long for their decision. Oh well. Oh, Pepito.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh yeah, it's all gonna work out great.
Yeah.
He also Pepito, Drake, also doesn't like that they wanted to name the baby Robin.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Robin's a bad name.
That's a bad name. Yeah.
For a guy, especially for a young Latino.
If you're trying to grow a mustache and you have a little bit of one, you don't want to like switch your name from Pepito, have a drink, to Robin.
Plus, I don't want to switch it when I'm 13 years old.
No. I got to switch my middle name, ironically, when I was like 13. 12, 13.
Pepito?
No, I was all psyched. I remember I wanted like Luke, or Bo. Luke Skywalker, like Bo Duke.
Yeah, and you got Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, I got an uncle that like was in the British Army that I met twice instead. So that's fun.
I wonder if it's too late to change my son's name to Pepito.
Let's do it just for like a week. Let's get the paperwork. Or we just start. I just want to call everyone Pepito.
Pepito.
Hey, Pepito. Also in the merch shop, we have the Pepito action figure. He asked me to play Go Fish. Pepito said he's not a
Pepito Joe.
Pepito Joe.
A real American hero.
Oh. Well, it's funny. You can age him too. Like his mustache comes off with just a piece of tape. You can go clean top lip or older top lip. It's wonderful.
Don't lose your Pepito Joe All-American Hero action
Don't
figure.
lose him. Yes, send in the proof of purchase if you like the which one is it? If you want to get the limited edition Father Ramos action figure. That's funny.
Comes with a roast beef sandwich.
Comes with a roast beef sandwich. We go to break. Act 2, man, just sucked the life out of me. We're back, and there's a sunset talk going on between Van and April.
Yep. He
offers him that job, and he accepts. There we go, Mike. Yep. That storyline's all wrapped up, and we can just move on. That was done.
Seems fine to me. I need somebody to work. You need somebody to work. I hate Jerry Hamlin.
Yeah. Well, he needed a job. She had a job for him. Done. What could go wrong? We see Steuben dancing with Karen when Doc cuts in. Steuben told Karen that Doc was a former alcoholic, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Doc gets back at him by telling Karen the captain sunk 2 ships, which is way worse. Yeah, he sunk 2 ships. He killed hundreds of people. He killed 1,200 people.
Yeah. Whoa. Have you ever read Berman's book of encyclopedias?
It's him. It's the captain's personal journal.
That the whole lying bit was probably the best part of it. Yeah. But it looks really bad when we just did the Alex and Wally pizza bet. It's the exact same storyline.
It is. It absolutely is. It's a terrible placement for this.
Yeah.
They're probably like, well, crap, we can't put this on season 3. Like, we can't.
No, that would be
Just
ridiculous. We
empty
can be
the reserves, basically.
listen. It's Christmas. Everybody's watching Dean Martin or
Nobody's watching this.
Buford
Buford
Purser.
Pusser. Yeah, either way. Outside on the deck, Steubing asks Karen to come to his cabin. Steubing's trying to seal a deal here. She accepts, but then Steubing is called to the bridge over the loudspeaker, which is, and it was Isaac that did it. Look at him.
Yeah, nice job, Isaac.
Nicely done, Isaac.
I hesitate to say he improved because this probably happened before the gin sting, but he sounded much better on the intercom than he did when he was trying to bust Wendell Sneed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I just hope we get to hear Gopher do his Steubing impression again. It's been a while. We only got to hear him do it once.
Fingers crossed.
Come on, Fred Grandy. Doc takes over with Karen in the moonlight. Gopher runs up and says the crew has a lifeboat drill. Look at you guys, man. I say that's a draw that round. Nobody wins that.
How far do you think Gopher went with the lifeboat bit?
I mean, he had one on.
Right, but do you think he actually gets in the water or like waits till Doc gets in the water?
Yeah, how long? Oh, we got to go to the opposite side of the ship.
Right. Oh, we have to go home.
Like, what do you? Yeah, how long does those shenanigans last? 10 minutes? Yeah, but then we see him later and Doc's at a bar.
Yeah, not soaking wet.
Yeah, not in a lifeboat. Nowhere near a lifeboat, unless that's the drill. During that drill, he just gets hammered.
You know what it is? It's the name of the bar. It's the lifeboat.
Oh, it's not the Pirates Cove.
It's not the different bar. It's not a Pirate Cove bar drill.
Everyone walks in dressed like Marty McFly. Are you in the Navy? No, I'm not in the Navy. April's getting ready for dinner. Here we go. That son of a bitch Wes. Now you'll know what I'm talking about. He comes to the cabin and tells her that Van isn't who she thinks and that he's washed up because he's been out of work for a year.
And then he says
what a dick move, man.
And then he says that he's been angling the whole time. He even hit me up for a job, which is like he barely hit you up for anything. You were having a conversation. He thought he was talking to a friend.
Well, but how many times did he tell April, enough of business, enough of business, enough of business?
Yeah. Dabney Coleman did nothing wrong.
No.
Generally, I'll say on the scale of blame here, right? Dabney Coleman, nothing wrong.
Not zero.
Rue McClanahan, 15% wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Her reaction to things was not great, but she eventually got over it.
Right.
Mrs. Larson, I'm going to say 20% because my guess is once Wes starts, rambling, flapping his lips.
Oh, she's like, on board. Yeah.
You got to tell, But the rest,
she doesn't want
to. The rest of it is I think you're right. Wes Larson is jealous or worried about Van Milner, and he decides to jump in here.
Well, Wes's wife she doesn't want to lose that margarine deal, so she can't say much.
Plus,
figured to hurt her endorsements.
$6 million in counterfeit bills. So.
Yeah, cardboard boxes full of fake money. Just, April confesses that she did offer Van a job, so now she has to rescind the offer. And again, what you're saying, I'm like, why?
Right.
What do you? Wes leaves and Van. Quick turnaround for Wes leaving and Van showing up.
Did they pass each other in the hallway?
And Wes was like, "My man, give me a hug." Like he's just a snake.
100%.
See just
dinner.
A piece of garbage. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Can't wait to talk about blah blah blah. Just knocks on the door. April tells Van that she can't see him anymore, and I'm like, okay, but I'm more upset that I'm scared I won't get to see that red jacket again. Is really what it's all about because he's wearing the red jacket again. But again, I was just like, wow, this is a reach, man. They do not care much about this storyline because this is just weak.
This is where it's like just the sheer force of Dabney Coleman is carrying this because they had point A and they had point C and they couldn't get to point B. And they just decided to just try and run right through it. But there was no actual logical reason for them to come at him.
No, they waited till Act 3 to come up with a problem.
Yeah, and it's barely a thing.
or like conflict. It's like, geez,
Yeah.
that's a stretch, man.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't lie. There wasn't a scene where it was like,
No.
he never said I'm still working. He never said it.
Yeah, but whose business is it for him to say to somebody else, like, I'm down to my last buck or whatever?
Yeah.
Which, of course, it's so stupid. And we'll get to it here in just a second here, the rest of the story. But that's why the rest of the story was so just ticked me off. Because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, now we're all,
Yeah.
ooh, hey, ooh, just
Right.
Wes is just a piece of garbage, man. Just that
Oh, and
character
his
is
biggest,
just a
I think
snake.
his biggest piece of garbage move is
Yeah.
actually about to happen.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
They've turned the Coral Dining Room into Club Casino.
It's the 1880s
Oof.
on the Mississippi.
It's just, if you love riverboats, oof.
What is this? The end of Maverick the movie?
It's so weird. Yeah, I'm waiting for some, big heist to take place. Just
Everybody's got a gun.
where Larry and Sybil find Pepito.
Pepito.
Turns out Pepito stole Larry's watch and sold it for gambling money.
You know what you want to hear as a new parent is multiple people asking, "Have you seen Pepito?" So
well, it's funny. You're telling me he's selling stolen property on a cruise. Some young kid going, psst.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that Timex.
Right. Yeah.
Come on.
Like, there's no children on this boat ever.
No.
But let me buy it off this young child.
You just Larry, he's going to take Pepito back to the cabin for a spanking.
And show him what it's like.
And he's going to beat the snot out of him and break all the furniture. Pepito's not coming out of that room. Pepito says, drink. No one puts a hand on me. To which Larry,
hand on Pepito.
nobody pushes Pepito in a corner.
What if Pepito would pull a knife out? You want to
Just
go?
cuts him up.
You want to go, Spencer? Let's go.
Yeah, like a pincushion. Dad, just
Call me Robin. Call me Robin.
Oh, it's just awful. He says, no one puts a hand on me. And Larry says, except your loving father, which was a really odd.
I mean, he's absolutely furious, which to your point means he got strong-armed at the orphanage by the wife.
Yeah, absolutely. Sybil pleads that Pepito just needs a good lecturing. Yeah, okay. And Pepito storms off again. And then I'm like, where are you going, dude? You're on a boat.
He's going to he's going to find some action.
Hide out on a boat, okay. But you're still on a boat.
Here's the thing, though. You forgot the best. Wait a minute, let me find it. You forgot the best advice, which was from Julie, who after Robert York's going to wail on him, and Sybil thinks he just needs a talking to. And Julie is like, what? You should take a nap or something?
Yeah. Go sleep on it. Kind of like he did in that Isaac episode. Remember his wife? You've had a hard day. Why don't you go lay down? It was that. That's funny.
Julie, you guys stay out of it, hon. Like,
just
this is,
butt out. There's 600 people. There's 597 other people on this ship. You're the cruise director. Okay. During Club Casino, Van starts winning at roulette. Everyone gathers around. Well, he doubles his winnings. He even asked April what her favorite number is. Wouldn't
11.
You think April would be like, get out of here. Leave me alone.
Well, she tried once. She said, don't do that. But
no.
Dabney Coleman's going to I'm going to do it. So
yeah,
you might on board here.
So he puts it on the black 11, gets black 11, then starts putting it on black or red, black or red, black or red.
Yep.
Anyway, he ends up winning $14,000. And while he's doing this, suddenly that piece of garbage Wes is like cheering him on, like, oh, go ahead, Van. And Van, like the character he is, he just leaves the money. He's like, here, give it to your hospital. But you're down to your last $100, Van. Get out of here.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
Where he says, I don't need money. I don't need
I mean,
anything.
I don't need anything. Good
God
for
damn.
you.
God
Yeah.
damn. So a couple things. So
Love them.
$14,000 in 1978
That's a
is
lot of
worth
money, dude.
$69,000 today.
Ooh.
That's a big chunk of change. The princess cannot afford that kind of money, so maybe this is an expensive cruise.
Yeah. How do they have that much on hand?
I guess maybe it's in the emergency fund box. Maybe they
It's in that.
replenished it.
Yeah, where's Gopher? Yeah.
The asshole move from Wes Larson here is Dabney Coleman is gambling at the roulette table. They walk by him and decide to sit at the table right next to him.
Yeah.
Literally right next to him. This is a massive casino. And they just decide we're going to put ourselves right here. And then, like to your point, Wes is like, "Oh, hey, you doing? How's it going, Van? Not good." And then
Yeah. How do you think?
he turns to April and he's like, "Don't worry about that guy. Forget about him. Get out."
Like, he's right there. He's within earshot.
And you're Two-Face.
That guy's a piece of garbage, man. That's how he made all his money in the box. He probably stole the idea for the cardboard box from somebody else. From Johnny Cardboard. He just stole his idea.
Oh,
I
no,
can't stand
Johnny
Wes.
Cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just a series of. You're right. He is Two-Faced.
It's totally Two-Faced, man.
And this is why he can't. He actually can't hire. He can't hire Van Milner because his board has overrun him already. He doesn't even own that company anymore.
You know who he is? He's Hulk Hogan, dude. Wes is Hulk Hogan.
Star of the lowest rated episode in Love Boat history.
The very same. We see Pepito is hiding behind a deck chair on the second deck of the outdoor area. And he overhears Larry tell Sybil that if they're lucky, he'll stay lost.
Yeah.
And when we go to break.
So everybody's looking for Pepito here as we go into break, right?
Just
theoretically.
Awful crew or security.
There is no one on the decks.
No.
So everyone's in casino night? Like everybody.
It's popular. Or it's go to sleep. You have two choices. Go to casino night or go to sleep in your room and don't walk around. It is
odd.
I
guess third is try to find Pepito, which is a lousy option.
That's dumb. It's the only way you can be out of your room or not be at the casino. We go to break again, so we're back. A whole night goes by, no Pepito. Sybil's super worried, as is Larry, who says, if anything happens to him, I'll never forgive myself. It wasn't his delivery of the line was not very believable. Larry's leg let him jump off the boat.
Here's my question. If anything happens to him, will the police forgive him? What is did they sign papers?
I mean, the last time we saw him,
yet? They haven't
Larry was threatening to do him bodily harm the last time we saw him.
He's the first suspect.
Right.
What about the La Policia? Also, actually, the guilty party here is the Padre.
Yes.
If anything happens to Pepito, the blood's on his hands.
No one's tracking Pepito. There's no paperwork. He's got one set of clothes. He's got nothing. And a roast beef sandwich.
He doesn't even have fingerprints.
No, he's got nothing.
Pepito.
The crew is looking for Pepito. We see Pepito dragging a raft over the railing, and I just think, oh boy. I just kind of wanted to see what was going to happen there. Like, yeah, go ahead. Because then I'm like, wouldn't you get sucked under? Because then the ship, it would be.
Yeah.
Go ahead, just hop off.
Here's my question. Now, Pepito's a pretty streetwise fellow. Now, granted, he's probably never been on a giant cruise liner before. But isn't the move, if you're Pepito, you've already made it through one night without anybody finding you?
Just hang out.
Isn't the move just to kind of stow away, hide in plain sight, hide around, whatever, and then the next port, just get out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or start a new life in LA. I think Pepito would do quite well on his own. Certainly he'll do better than he is living with the Hartmans.
I mean, he makes me laugh. Every time he's got a little scene, I'm chuckling. I'm like, oh, Pepito. He'd be great.
You ragamuffin Pepito.
Larry and Sybil catch him just in time and explain that they love him because They met him yesterday.
Well, on this boat, that actually tracks. So.
Yeah, it does track.
Also, we'd like to marry you, Pepito.
Yeah, that's the. There's a little known maritime law. Pepito thinks the spanking threat said otherwise, but Larry says, "Hey, you can't steal without punishment." In other words, I will inflict physical pain on you. Fair enough.
Pepito, you can come home with us. We'll give you food.
Just
I'm
know.
going to hit you.
Yeah. You got 6 in the bank already, you little thief. Pepito reveals he's always had to steal in order to eat. Okay. He's not that thin either. Let me just say that. He's not.
He's eating roast beef.
He's eating roast beef. You're not that hungry. Sybil assured him he'll have plenty to eat from here on out. And it's just kind of Pepito finally gives in and hugs Larry.
Yeah,
Larry pushes him away and slugs him and knocks the mustache clean off Pepito's face.
No. A little unearned there, guys.
Yeah, it's a little forcing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in essence, that storyline's pretty much wrapped up there, I would say. There's a little thing at the end, but that's sort of the...
Yeah.
You end with a hug.
End.
Okay.
Yeah, great. I'm so glad they found Pepito.
Yeah, wonderful. Nobody was looking. I wasn't looking for him.
I stopped looking at this episode by now.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. It's kind of like when you can coast in a bike when you don't have to pedal.
Yeah,
you just
this was kind of audio. This was kind of audio only for a little bit. For
audio
me.
only, just like gliding. Turn the engine off. Karen decides she needs to choose between Doc and Captain.
Why?
Why? Just you're getting off the ship the next day. Julie forms a plan that she'll meet them both on the deck at 11 o'clock and make her choice. So dramatic. Just tell them now. I choose none of you.
This is the worst voiceovers. These are just like
in the wind.
Oh my god,
so bad.
It sounded like it was a kung fu movie. There was so much like
they were like, who knew there'd be wind on a cruise ship? Yeah, they weren't playing ping pong in that scene. You know what had happened. That would have been everywhere.
And
skeet. Can't skeet. Minutes later, Doc tells Isaac that he's going to give up and let Steubing have Karen. And elsewhere, Captain Steubing is telling Gopher he is going to give up and let Doc have Cabin.
And that's what makes this a Christmas episode.
And that's where Gift of the Magi came from. Van is alone in the moonlight when April comes up and apologizes. But again, she's apologizing what? Because he gave money to her hospital? Like, what changed in this scenario?
I think she's apologizing for assuming he was doing the stuff that Wes said he was. But when you give away $14,000, it's not about the money. That would have to be a hell of a scam if he was going to let that money go just to get all the money of the very successful Dunleavy Institute.
It just shows. He showed his true colors. Wes would have taken every penny. He probably tried to, too.
Do you think Jerry Hamlin is like sitting in his office and he just gets this like chill down his spine?
He's not
Something
happy.
Bad's gonna happen.
Something bad is about to happen. Yeah. Absolutely.
I've got 8 months left on my contract. You can't do anything to me. I'm Jerry Hamlin, the worst hospital administrator ever, apparently.
He's just, and the thing is, with technology, he would have no wind of this. What are they going to send a telegram that you're fired? End. Like, how are you going to?
Well, I assume that's Dabney Coleman's first job, right?
Oh, fire Jerry.
Yeah.
Bye, Jerry.
Look at the box factory.
Bring a box with you. Just show him what's up. Look, it's brown 4 sides. You can put stuff in it. Van also apologizes.
$3 million.
And back then, that was like crazy money. I'm the sultan of the cardboard cube. I don't know. Van apologizes for not telling her he's broke. But I'm like, what business? Who cares? And insists that while he's good at his work and knows he can eventually get a job, there's only one April. They hug. They go for the smooch. They hug. And Van gets the job at April's hospital after all.
I think Van was holding back a little bit. He's like, you don't get the sugar right away after that that charade.
Yeah, settle down. You might be crazy.
Yeah,
You've
you might
changed
get
your mind
fired.
twice. Yeah.
I might fire you and Jerry Hamlin, or maybe
I'm
me and Jerry
changing it.
Hamlin are in on the scam.
I'm going to call it the Jerry Hamlin Institute. That's what I'm going to do.
I
Get
mean, it
out of here,
sounds as
April.
much of a hospital, Hamlin Hospital.
So
There you
stupid.
go.
It's 11 p.m. Neither Doc nor Steubing show up. Karen doesn't have to make her choice. Wow. Big finish, Mike.
Ugh.
Pepito, last
Pepito.
opportunity to drink, returns the quote-unquote missing watch back to Larry, and they all have a big chuckle. I wouldn't have a big chuckle. I'd be like, oh, I almost forgot about that. Come here, Pepito.
Oh, thanks for the watch. Guess what time it is? It's ass whooping time.
Yeah. I don't have numbers on there. It says it's beaten time.
Clobber
jerk. Exactly. Wes tells Van that he might have a spot for him in his company. Go F yourself, Wes.
Yeah.
You
go shit
snake.
In the box.
Guy's just the epitome of garbage.
He's a tryhard. He's a two-face.
Fake. Just a snake
clearly
in the grass.
Cussed by his wife.
Oh, not a fan.
Not a fan at all.
Wes says he already had.
You know what, Wes? Get that tuxedo ready. We might be seeing you at the Stubbies because we do have a category for people like you.
You know what's funny is, speaking of the Stubbies, I thought of a category the other day.
Oh, I thought of a category the other day too. Go on.
What was yours?
My category was, I think we should put in best storyline.
Oh, I like that.
Because as we've seen a lot this season, we have had good storylines, but not good
I like
episodes.
that. That's a good idea.
That would be a good one. Yeah.
What I came up with is best merch shop idea.
It's going to be hard to beat that. What was that? The hat, the businessman #1.
Oh, the businessman #1 hat.
Whatever that company was, the trucker hat.
Or the night surgeon kit. That's, you'll know that's another good one too. What does it come with? It comes with a phone with a bad connection. That's what it comes with.
And a little black book.
Yeah. Adam and a permission slip. Or whatever.
Consent form, right?
Yeah, consent form. Van tells Wes pretty much, I already have a job, and Wes and Renee congratulate both Van and April. Good riddance. We see Karen exiting the boat as Steubing and Doc look on. They realize that their friendship means more than pursuing Karen. Quote, we didn't lose a girl. We kept a friendship.
We get like 3 scenes worth of this where Julie keeps asking Karen who she'd picked. Like, who cares?
Who cares? It's over.
Right. And nothing happens.
But why does she care that much?
The stretching in this episode wasn't padding. It was literal
stretching. Like this scene, there was a 0, and she went, oh, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. And that, Karen wouldn't tell Julie. End of episode. Whew.
Word. And even the ending was dumb, where it was like the two of them, like just kind of saying, au revoir and all this stuff. Like, what are we doing here?
I just felt like, again, like you're saying, it just was stretched. It was stretched. When you cut through this episode the way we did, I mean, not to say we left anything out. We're already the episode already right now for us is much shorter than a normal episode because there was nothing happening. These stories were the orphan when there's nothing there.
No.
It's just.
Yeah. And the thing that bothers me is, well, you know what? No, I'm not going to say that. I don't think there was even hope for any of this. Like sometimes we look at it and we're like, oh, you could have done this, or you could have done that.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
No. The only good thing that came out of the 2 storylines was, I have said it before, I do wish they had established this friendship of these two.
Yeah.
A little earlier.
And we've talked about that.
It's mainly there.
Well, it's like a Captain Kirk and Bones kind of thing.
Right. And so I think that's something and again, I would have been curious to see if this was like episode 9 that we ever watched or something.
Yeah.
It would have been bad, but it would have at least informed things moving forward.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it was just
But guess what? It wasn't.
No.
So totals and a recap. So when I watched it the first time, I didn't like it. I liked Dabney Coleman, obviously, but then when Wes gets involved, that even started to take the shine off that.
It really did.
I was trying to hold back my hatred for it because I was really mad about the timeline and how insulting it was.
Right.
But then when I watched it the second time, this is a bad episode. Yeah. To me, this is the worst episode we watched this season. I'm easy. I can be debated, but it really just depends on how much Dabney Coleman. And this is like a fundamental conversation,
well,
right? It's like
he's on a sinking ship, though, man. You know, right. There's only so much he can do. I'm trying to think because there's one.
So
I can't argue with it.
Episode 8 is the current leader, and it was the Conrad Bain stuck in the hotel or in the room. Jimmy Walker's a ghost.
Yeah, they survived on 6 peanuts. Yeah, right. They made it through.
We didn't like that. It was not a good episode.
No,
it was boring.
Right.
But this
is different. This isn't boring. It's just bad.
This had something that I don't even know if we've had, which is 2 I don't care storylines.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and look. Like episode 23, that Annette Funicello was as bad as anything we've seen, right? The other stuff was not great, but this was just like...
I'd say I would put this up against the worst of season 1 easily, and I think it would be a battle. I think it would be a close... This is historically bad, this episode.
Yeah.
It's just...
So I just... There's no... And the thing is, too, it's bad on its own, and then you throw in the fact that it's so out of order and all that stuff. Yeah, I think this is the worst of the season.
Let's swap out Dabney Coleman and put Norman Fell. Oh, you want to talk about
or even worse, swap out that storyline for a lesser storyline.
It's just the whole thing.
Yeah. Like if this was like, and the third storyline is like one of those Leslie Nielsen storylines or something like that. Like this
at
was...
least it's something. There was not the orphan. It was bad. I would agree with you. This is the worst episode of the second season. And as I said before, I think it definitely in the running for worst episode we've seen so far.
Yeah. I'll have to go back.
It's at least at worst bottom 3.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and look because I'm pretty sure so episodes 21 and 23 last year, I don't think they had a ceiling. Like they didn't have a performance.
No, they didn't have a Dabney Coleman. No.
Right. But it was the same idea. And so that really just is the only thing. Can one person save it from being the worst thing we've ever seen? But not this season.
No.
Well,
whatever this was, because I do feel like
they count. Yeah, but it'll count in our season. But yeah,
imagine if this was like episode 20 or 19, like last year and last season when you had that string. That's
it does make sense, though, right? It fits right in that bad string of episodes.
Because this is,
I don't know what happened. It's funny, as much as we love like some of the outdoor stuff and everything. When you see it, man, it's like troubled times ahead.
It just stunk. It really stunk. And I'm watching this episode makes me glad we're in season 2, but it irritates me because I really was hoping we'd be past this, past the ticker tape, past the weird portal, past Julie's hair being short.
Well, at this point now, I almost feel like until we get caught up to the timeline, which I guess we will then dictate by Julie's hair and some of the sets, right?
Yeah.
Like, I almost don't know how to judge it. Because it's like we're just all over the place.
It's just random. It's random placement. It just there's no like chronological. There's no. This one is such a. I don't know what to do with this one. Let's throw it here.
Right. And it's episode 12. There's 25 this year, so we're basically halfway through. This is a much worse season than last year.
Absolutely.
And it just feels very fragmented because of the timelines, and then these consistently one good, two bad storyline shows.
Maybe, then if you look at what it was going up against, like forget what the special was, right? They were going up against a TV movie and a Christmas special. With there only being 3 things to watch, it's almost like, here, we're going to throw this against the wall and we're still going to get 14 million viewers.
Yeah. No, obviously, right?
But I wish it was a little more of, we've got something here. Let's kind of build this story. We had the continuity people. That thing, there's no continuity in this episode with any other episode.
No. And we have one more episode in December of 1978. Based on the synopsis, it is not a Christmas heavy episode. Whether we even get, somebody wearing a hat or a tree in the background, I don't know. But that is the easiest thing to do in television back then.
Didn't we have a Christmas cruise last year?
What?
Didn't we have a Christmas? We did.
Yeah,
we did. Okay, and invested Santa Claus.
One
every year. We had Thanksgiving.
This a damn Christmas episode. You don't have to have it be completely Christmas.
Well, we had Halloween. Remember, we had Halloween this year.
We had Thanksgiving,
and we had Thanksgiving. So
I don't know. I don't feel great that we're going to get any Christmas next week.
Maybe we'll get New Year's instead. Maybe it'll be a New Year's cruise. I mean, I could see that. Well, but I'd still, like you say, it's too easy.
We do get one thing next week that really does feel like a holiday, but I'll save that for the end.
All right.
Captain of the Week is a one. There's a one answer.
It's Dabney Coleman, Mr. Van Milner, and I say Dabney Coleman because he's the one that did the work.
Yes.
I mean, he's the anti-Norman Fell is what I wrote down.
The only person who even gets a tip, a little hat tip, is Rue McClanahan. She kept up as much as she could.
I agree.
And it's not her fault that the logic of the plot broke down in the middle.
Oh, it's terrible.
But she was the other half of that kind of repartee. So
we'll see her 5 more times. She's got 5 more swings at it.
I'm excited. And this could be anybody. Walk the plank.
I think it's Pepito. Number one, I'm tired of saying his name. I'm just tired of him.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I went with the Padre because I do think
when it gets type,
he basically ran a scam.
Oh yeah.
He's now stuck this poor family with a kid they don't want. He lied. Who knows what's going to happen to Pepito now? So that's
probably wants some bet too. The father's like, I bet you 100 pesos. I can. Pepito will be out here with an American family by the end of the week, or something ridiculous.
A trading places thing, or whatever.
Billy Ray Petito, or Billy Ray Pepito.
You could literally make an argument for anyone that was in this episode, except for Dabney Coleman, Rue McClanahan, and Ruth Larson.
Yeah,
everyone in the real cast and crew, everybody in the show, everyone is eligible to be the worst, and I think it's legitimate.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I agree. It's not a good look. It really isn't a good look for them.
Yeah, like I said, this episode made me angry for so many reasons, and then talking about it made me angry for so many reasons. So.
I totally agree.
Anyway, that's totals and a recap for this week.
Let's check the old mailbag, Mike. Let me check the mailbag. Now, there is no mail. However,
this counts.
We received a very nice review. I just kind of wanted to share this with you. I love your Love Boat podcast. Still catching up on all the episodes, but every episode so far has me laughing my head off.
That's great.
We'll
see what she thinks about this one.
I was at an antique shop and I bought a vintage Love Boat coffee mug. Keep up the wonderful work. Cheers, Helen. Thanks, Helen.
Thanks, Helen.
Plugs, Mike.
I would like to plug Jerry Hamlin's LinkedIn page.
He has a deli.
He's just working at Wawa.
He's in Naples, Florida, working at a deli. Yeah.
So Jerry Hamlin's LinkedIn page, and also Absolutely Hammered on the Hitting Season Patreon for hopefully
go.
A deep World Series run. And if not, we'll just start talking about Pepito.
That's it. Go Phils. You can find us everywhere and everywhere you find your audio podcasts: iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict. I love reading all these. Amazon Music, Podchaser, Deezer, and Player FM. Please hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. Also, check out our video podcast on YouTube. And if you could hit the subscribe button there, leave us a review. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Look for weekly reels and updates. Next episode, Mike, did you do a little looking ahead? I did a little.
I did a little looking ahead. Now, the thing I was just teasing is actually not for next week, but it is coming up. But I'll save that. But no, next week is the title Julie Falls. Oof. And we are going to get back into a Julie romance, and that is always a great place to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can knock this one out of the worst episode pretty quickly.
Please. So. Well, it might be tough because when I did look ahead, the word ventriloquist was a key word. So we'll see.
Well, happy Pepito to you, Mike.
Happy Pepito to you, Mike. All right. Well, thanks for joining us this episode. Thank you, Mike. And we will see you next time. Thanks,
Pepito.
everybody.